Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Domino's Diecast. Today, from my collection, I'm going to be featuring my 1949 Ford Woody Station Wagon. This is in 1/24th scale. The story about this one is that this car, when I first bought it, I had no idea it wasn't even put together. That's right, I put this car together completely by myself. It came in several thousand pieces almost, it seemed. So I'm very proud of myself about how I put it together, and it has stayed together all these years. As you know, that in the early days, the station wagons were very popular traveling vehicles. People traveled all around the country in these things. And the history of the station wagon is a long one, originally starting in, I do believe, the 30s mostly. I think there were some station wagons in the 20s, not very many though. They became popular in the late 30s, going all through the 40s and especially in the 50s, where they didn't really use too much wood grain then, but some models did. The wood grain came back as a very high demand option in the late 60s, 70s, and especially in the 80s too. And that's when the station wagon kind of phased out, but we still make them today. We do make small, sporty wagons today. Station wagons were mostly family vehicles, but also working class vehicles. And this one's definitely among the more classier models made by Ford. As you can see, there's the very famous bullet nose right there, which another famous car company also used the bullet nose idea, and that was Studebaker. I love the big, prominent hood ornament right on the front there. Very beautiful. Here is the rear. The back bumper is slightly loose, but it just snaps on. So occasionally it just gets like that. Spare tire at the rear. The back door does not open itself. But what does open are the side doors. These do open, so that you can look inside and see the details. Not extremely detailed on the inside, but they still do have a fair amount of detail in there to let you know where everything was. Among the steering wheel, you can even see the speedometer and the various knobs. This would be the fueling cap back here, and these would actually be where the taillights were here. Now these are actually not functional. These little knobs down here, they were just for synchronicity in their design. Many wagons, especially the classic wagons, were only two doors. They would just fold down the seat and let everybody climb in the back. Four-door station wagons were not popular until the 50s, actually. But they did make a few models in the 30s and 40s. A few. Now the front hood does go up. I have to very carefully lift it up. And the engine bay is in there. This car is actually not black in color. I originally thought it was, but as you can see, when it's in the light, it is a very dark blue color. But it's actually very beautiful. I really like that. It's kind of like a, I guess they would call it navy blue, maybe? I consider it like a dark sapphire blue myself. I do occasionally buy other 1/24th scale models because they do hold a fair amount of detail. My favorite will always be 1/18th scale though, just for the sheer size of it and detail of them. This is a very nice model though. It's also the first wagon I ever bought in my collection. With wood grain, that is. Not the first wagon. I want to be specific about that. The first wagon I ever bought will be featured in another episode, but this is my first Woody wagon, for sure. I'm glad that it has stayed together all of these years, especially since I put it together myself. I must have done it just right. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this little piece of automotive history, and I will see you again in another episode featuring another one of the cars from my collection. Until then, bye for now.